Hi everyone, it's Miss Potts and welcome to our lesson. Let's take a look at our focus for today. Our focus for today is to use order of operations and the distributive property. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to answer these questions. What is the order of operations and what does the distributive property allow you to do? First, let's go ahead and take some notes. We need to have some basic understanding and vocabulary of these terms. When talking about the order of operations, a lot of you use the acronym for Please Excuse My Dear and Sally, PEMDAS, or as some of you call it, is PEMDAS. However, I want to make sure that we make a slight modification to our original understanding of it, because I'm sure that a lot of you assume that multiplication comes before addition or division, and the same thing that addition comes before subtraction. But that's not necessarily true. For example, if you have an expression or an equation where both addition and subtraction are shown, you're just going to solve it from left to right. Same thing goes for multiplication and division. If they're both present, we solve them from left to right, just like when we're reading. And I want to go through some of the symbols of the order of operations so that they look familiar to you. So when we're referring to P, and please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, we are referring to parentheses. So some of the symbols look like this. The E stands for exponents. Then the M and the D stand for multiplication and division, and then the A and the S stand for addition and subtraction. We're going to use this knowledge of the order of operations to go ahead and solve an example together. So in this expression we have subtraction and multiplication shown. Using the order of operations, we are going to multiply first. So I'm going to simplify 4 times 3, which equals 12. And I'm just going to drop down the rest of my expression, 16, with the operation of subtraction. Then I'm just left to simplify 16 minus 12, which equals 4. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit more challenging example using the order of operations. Here we have subtraction, division, and multiplication present. According to the order of operations, we're either going to use multiplication and division first. And working from left to right, we are going to simplify 10 divided by 5 first. In simplifying that, 10 divided into 5 parts equals 2. And I'm going to drop down the rest of my expression. So now I have 14 minus 2 times 3. I did division. Now I'm left with subtraction and multiplication, and according to the order of operations, I'm going to multiply next. 2 times 3 equals 6, so I'm just going to drop down the rest of my expression so I stay organized. And now I'm left to simplify 14 minus 6, which equals 8. Now we're going to take a look at the distributive property. The distributive property deals with parentheses, where we are distributing a value that's outside of a parentheses to everything inside by multiplication. So in reality, we're distributing 4 and 9. 9 into 4, 9 times 4, and then 9 into 5, 9 times 5. Same thing with this example. We're distributing 5 to every term inside the parentheses. 5 times 8 and 5 times 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at an example of that. In this example, we have in our parentheses 9 plus 6. But on the outside of our parentheses, we have the value of 5. We are going to distribute that to everything inside the parentheses. And let's rewrite that. We have 5 times 9 plus 5 times 6. Still using the order of operations, I'm going to simplify what 5 times 9 is, which is 45. And I'm also going to simplify what 5 times 6 is, which is 30. I'm going to drop down my operation, which is addition. Now I'm left to simplify 45 plus 30, which equals 75. Let's take a look at another example together using the distributive property. This time we have a negative value involved, so we need to be mindful of that. We're going to distribute our outside value of 3 to everything inside the parentheses. So we're going to multiply 3 times negative 4 plus 3 times 7. First, let's simplify what 3 times negative 4 is. We have a positive value being multiplied by a negative value. Since they're both different signs, I automatically know that my answer is going to be negative. And 3 times 4 is 12. Drop down my operation symbol, and then go ahead and simplify what 3 times 7 is, which equals 21. Now we're left to simplify negative 12 plus 21. We're adding a larger number to a negative number, so I automatically know that my final answer is going to be positive. And negative 12 plus 21 is equal to 9. Now we're going to work with an equation, and we're going to have to think really hard about this one. We have to add parentheses to make this equation true. So we have a bunch of operations. We have addition, division, multiplication, and addition again is equal to 24. Now we have to add parentheses into this equation to make it true that it equals 24. So let's go ahead and see here. If we have 6 plus 6 and 6 plus 6 in parentheses, let's go ahead and solve that out to see if it will equal 24 using the order of operations. 6 plus 6 is equal to 12, and 6 plus 6 is equal to 12 as well. Now I'm going to drop down my operation of division, dividing by 6 times what we have is 12. Now using the order of operations, I'm going to work from left to right. Since division and multiplication are on the same playing field, I'm just going to solve it like I'm reading. So I'm going to divide 12 by 6, which equals 2. And drop down the rest of my expression. I'm left to solve 2 times 12, which equals 24. And look, they both equal the same thing. They're evened out. So we use parentheses and the order of operations to make this equation true. Let's take a little bit of time to review and think about this lesson and to see if you can answer these questions. What is the order of operations? And what does the distributive property allow you to do? Please think about those questions. Also, please answer the problems that are below. And if you have any questions regarding this lesson, please don't hesitate to let me know. Bye guys, see you in class.